Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Sky Striker Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for post-Magnificent Mavens. We got some new Sky Striker support in the latest Yu-Gi-Oh Special Edition booster pack. This deck focuses on using a bunch of different Sky Striker spells and summoning out a bunch of different Sky Striker Link monsters onto the field, gaining additional card effects, and then just implementing more effects based on how many spells you have in your graveyard. It's been a well-known deck for a good while, and the added support we got just adds to the overall playstyle, with their best new card being the quick play spell that allows you just to perform even more link summons, being a quick play that basically lets you do so very quickly. And let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the Sky Striker monsters, we are running 3 Sky Striker Ray. This is your main go-to ace monster in the deck. Quick effect, you contribute this card to special summon 1 Sky Striker ace monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone while this card is in your graveyard. If a face-up Sky Striker ace link monster you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can special summon this card. You can only use each effect of Ray once per turn, but it's set up and just your go-to monster to summon out any of your Sky Strikers. And being a warrior monster, it can be searched out with cards like Reinforcements of the Army and just overall utilized very easily in the deck. I also run 1 Sky Striker Ace Rose. With this card, if a Sky Striker Ace monster is normal or special summon except Sky Striker Ace Rose, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If an opponent's monster in the extra monster zone is destroyed, and also with this card while it's in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. Then you can negate the effects of one face-up monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn. You go and use each effect of Rose once per turn. Once again, just more setup, also being an additional card to help get out our Link 2 boss monster, which was just recently reprinted, being our Sky Striker Ace Zeke, having that additional monster on the field for us to use, and running 1 of the new Aileron. This is the new level 1 monster. It's always treated as a Sky Striker card. A Sky Striker Ace monster equipped with this card gains 400 attack. You can only use 1 of the following effects of Aileron once per turn and only once that turn. And during the main phase, quick effect, you can target 1 other Sky Striker Ace monster you control, equip this card from your hand or field to it. And if this card is on the field and destroyed, you can send 1 Sky Striker spell from your deck to the graveyard. Now that can help to set up some other cards in your graveyard. Like I said, having the majority of different spells in your graveyard gives you additional card effects for your Sky Striker spells. I'll only run the 1 though. I'm still testing it. It's not really a necessity in the deck. It just adds for a little more playstyle of setting up the graveyard. So that's why it's still just a 1-of for me to use. And then for some of the other monsters, we're going for more of a hand trap lineup in the deck. So 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. You can do so much with just the spell lineup and just 1 Sky Striker monster. So with hand traps just being a more defensive play against your opponent, 3 Ash Blossom along with 2 Effect Veiler for stopping searches, sends, and monster effects on the field. And also 2 Nibiru for if your opponent goes for additional summons, you can summon this card out and then just get rid of those monsters. And then you can easily come back with 1 Sky Striker Ace monster, and using the token you may have for your opponent on their field along with the Nibiru monster to then use that to go into Zeke along with one of your other Sky Striker monsters. And I also run 3 DD Crow just for an additional card to stop any of your opponent's graveyard plays, with Despias and Tier Limits being a big thing. Just being able to use this hand trap to banish that card or any other particular spell or trap your opponent may be trying to recycle or activate with a banish from the graveyard. This card definitely does come in handy. And that is it for the main deck monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. I run 3 of the new Sky Striker Mobilize Linkage. This quick play spell, if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters from the extract for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, except for Sky Striker Ace monsters. Also send 1 other card you control to the graveyard. If you do, special summon 1 Sky Striker Ace monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone. If you have at least 1 light and 1 dark Sky Striker Ace monster on your field or into your graveyard, the monster gains 1,000 attack. So this is the quick play spell, which I mentioned, just being able to set up a different Sky Striker Ace Link monster on the field and easily having the light and dark attributes set up for the additional plus 1,000 is just an added bonus. This is meant just to set up some of your other cards, whether it be your Kagari or your Shizuku for that summon and giving you that additional search. And then for the 1-ofs for the Sky Striker cards that are at 1 on the ban list, we're running 1 Sky Striker Mecha Hornet Drones, 1 Multi-Roll, and 1 Engage. Engage has the search power, Hornet Drones gives you a token, and Multi-Roll just sets more on the field for each one you activate that turn, giving you a full back row to use. They're all at 1 just because they're extremely powerful cards, so we're just running 1-ofs for each of these. But there are some other ones that we're just running 1-ofs because they can be searched out and utilized just as easily, and that is 1 Sky Striker Maneuver Maneuver Afterburners, 1 Sky Striker Shark Cannon, and 1 Jamming Waves. These just give you spell and monster destruction, along with Shark Cannon being able to, if you control no monsters in the main monster zone, target 1 monster your opponent can graveyard and banish it, being an additional DD Crow that is searchable with some of your other Sky Striker cards. For another 3 of that I run in the deck for Sky Strikers, I run 3 Widow Anchor. This is just another card to take away your opponent's resources. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, target 1 face-up effect monster on the field, negate that monster's effect until the end of this turn. If you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can take control of that monster until the end of the turn. So it's a quick play spell, just another resource to recycle with multi-roll, but still being able to utilize it on the field as a quick play activation to get another monster to then summon out Zeke onto the field with one of your other Sky Striker monsters. And I also want to run 3 multi-roll. I don't know where I put my 3rd one, so I have 1 Metaverse in here just as another field spell setup card with Area 0. I might have said multi-roll, but with the field spell Sky Striker Airspace Area 0, you can target 1 other card you control, excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, add 1 excavated Sky Striker card to your hand and shuffle the rest into the deck. Then if you would excavate a Sky Striker card, send the targeted card to the graveyard. If this card is in the field zone, is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon 1 Sky Striker Ace monster from your deck. So this is another way to get out Aileron, being that it's always treated as a Sky Striker card. You can send your Area 0 with your linkage, being able to then get your special summon and also activate the Area 0, being able to summon out the Aileron onto the field and have your quick play activate of this card's quick effect to equip onto the Sky Striker Ace monster that you summoned out. I also run 2 Dark Ruler No More for an additional option of getting a spell in the graveyard, while also being able to stop my opponent's monster effects that they may have on the field. And then just go, when you go second and activate this card, you have free play for all your monsters on the field without having to worry about any of the monsters your opponent may have on their field activating their effects. And for some of the 1-ofs for the spells, I run 1 Reinforcements of the Army for the Ray Search, Terraforming for the Area 0 Search, 1 Upstart Goblin, just being a free spell set up in the graveyard, and also 1 Harpy's Feather Duster for clearing out the opponent's back row, and 1 Change of Heart for being able to take, once again, an opponent's monster for any extra deck Link monster summons. And that is it for these spells. We'll now move on to the traps. The only trap I run in the deck is just 3 Infinite Permanents along with the other hand traps. If you do go second, you at least have this to rely on as an activated card on the field for you to use against your opponent and negate that monster effect. And that is it for the main deck. Moving on now to the extra deck. I run 3 Sky Striker Ace Kagari. It needs 1 non-fire Sky Striker Ace monster, so anything but Kagari. If it's special summon, you can target 1 Sky Striker spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand. It gains 100 attack for each spell in your graveyard. You can only special summon Kagari once per turn, but being able to use the new spell and summon it on your opponent's turn can give you more of a recycle, thanks to this card, of all your other spells you may have already activated using this card. I also run 3 Sky Striker Ace Shizuku for an end phase search with this card, just needing a non-water Sky Striker Ace monster, being able to have that end phase search and still use it for that play, and also with this card being able to be used on your opponent's turn gives you that extra deck play to rely and just have the Shizuku on the field. On the end phase, you can activate that spell, sending your other card you may control and summoning it out and getting the search. And I also run 2 Sky Striker Ace Hayate. It can also, with this card, attack directly. After damage calculated battle monster, you can send 1 Sky Striker card from your deck to the graveyard. Just more setup using this card, whether you want to send Rose to set up in the graveyard for you to have. It's a good 2 of. I would say Kagari and Shizuku are definite 3 ofs, but Hayate is fine at 2, just like Kana is fine at 1. It's just more of a specific Link monster to go into, but still useful when you have it. But the other bigger boss monster with all the taking control of your opponent's monsters, I run 2 Sky Striker Ace Zeke. With this card, it needs 1 monster, including a Sky Striker Ace monster. It must be Link summoned. You can only special summon Zeke once per turn this way. If it's Link summoned, you can target 1 phase of monster on the field, banish it until your opponent's next end phase, and once per turn, you can target 1 other card you control. This card gains 1000 attack, and send the targeted card to the graveyard. So with this, you just have another special summon to utilize with our linkage, having to control no monsters in the main monster zone. Remember that for the play setup, but being able to set up that other Sky Striker monster and then use the Widow Anchor to take our opponent's monster can easily allow us to go into Zeke for this play, being able to activate it and then chain in response the Widow Anchor taking our opponent's monster and then using it along with the linkage to summon out a Sky Striker Ace monster, being Zeke, and then banishing an additional monster our opponent may have. For more of the generic Link monsters, I run 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and 1 Boral Sword. If If you have access code Talker, you can take out the Boral Sword and put it in instead. And as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, like I said, the Sky Striker Mobilize linkage definitely does help, just being able to summon out another Sky Striker Ace monster for this card for your special summon, sending one other card you can control to the graveyard to special summon one Sky Striker Ace monster from your X deck. If you have the Area 0 in your field spell zone, when you activate this, you can send the Area 0, giving you the special summon of your Sky Striker monster. Kagari can get back the Area 0 to your hand. Shizuku can give you a search on the end of your turn from your deck, but then you also have the play off of the Area 0 to then have this card with your Sky Striker's monster from your deck, being able to special summon it onto the field. The monster you can then special summon is the Aileron, with that being a 1-of. Having 3 of this card makes it an okay 1-of because of it. Then you can just equip it onto your monster, being a quick effect, giving it an additional 400, and a little more difficult for your opponent to get over it. And as for the other bigger boss monster, Kaiju-like Sky Striker monster that was in this set, if you wanted to put that in the deck, you can always take out Nibiru for that monster. I know it's a pretty big boss monster that relies a lot on your opponent's plays. That's why I wasn't running it in the deck. But if you do want to run it, just take out Nibiru or even one of the other hand trap options and put in 2 copies of that card. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like I said, it's really awesome that we got some new support for the Sky Striker deck and all the other decks we got in Magnificent Mavens. I'll definitely be updating those as well, so look forward to it. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.